Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to my WWE NXT review for February 1st, 2017. I know I'm 3 weeks behind on NXT, but I just been really busy doing schoolwork and other things like that. So, I'm going to try to sit down um, today, maybe tomorrow, and catch up on NXT because I do want to watch NXT live tomorrow, so I hope I can do just that. So, I'm going to sit down and watch all 3 episodes of NXT that I've missed. And I'm looking forward to doing this. I actually like it. It's not that I don't like NXT. I just don't have as much time for it as I did before. I barely have time to watch Raw and SmackDown live, so it's like, But let me just get it started. So we had Percy Watson, Corey Graves, and Tom Phillips on commentary for this show. But that's going to change in the next episode, which I'll get into that later on in this review. And we had the first match on the show. It was Ember Moon versus Aaliyah. And they were still, by the way, too, in Texas because they filmed this episode just before NXT TakeOver San Antonio. So this match I thought was a solid match. Nothing fancy. Ember Moon hit the Northern Lights suplex. No, sorry, not a double underhook suplex, sorry. And Aaliyah hits a few moves on her. She hits a bicycle kick into the corner, which I thought looked really cool. And Ember Moon gets her into a triantula, and then Aaliyah gets Ember Moon into the triantula, and then eventually Ember Moon hits a DDT and hits the Eclipse for the win. But I'm fine with Ember Moon going over because I think they're building her up to fate. It's clear that they're now gonna do Asuka versus Ember Moon for the NXT Women's Title at the next Takeover. So obviously it makes sense for her to go over. Plus Aaliyah's kind of a jobber anyway, so And then Sanity's backstage cutting a promo, and Eric Young says that says choices. That's choices brought Ty Dillinger was the Ty Dillinger's demise. And he says that he said that when they came to NXT they were gonna take everything, and that's exactly what they did to Ty Dillinger. And then that was about it. And then Killian Dane says something, but I forget exactly what he said. But overall, I thought it was a good promo. And then Ty Dillinger's backstage, and he talks about being in the Royal Rumble match. He says that, he can't believe he's about to join the Royal Rumble match, that, he feels like it's not reality. And then it shows him actually being in the match, and then he has an interview, and he talks about how, forever, when people think of the 30th anniversary of the Royal Rumble match, when they look at those participants, his name's going to be on there. And he said that he's had a lot of ups and downs in the business, but this is going to be a moment he never forgets. And he says that he's still trying to process it all. So, Ty Dillinger being in the Royal Rumble was awesome. And it was a cool moment. He came out number 10, and I thought that was great. I actually didn't think they were going to do that. And then Asuka gets interviewed, and she says that the match that she had in the Fatal 4 was a tough match, but she's still the NXT Women's Champion. And then she gets asked about Ember Moon, and she's like, Ember who? She says that Ember Moon's a nobody, pretty much. So then Ember Moon gets interviewed, and she says that she feels ready to face Asuka for the NXT Women's Championship, and she says when me and Asuka finally get in the win, then she is gonna know who Ember Moon is. So. I'm obviously like the stuff they're doing, building up to the Ember Moon Asuka match. Then we had the next match. It was Tyler Bate versus Oney Lorcan. This was the first time we had seen Tyler Bate since he had won the United Kingdom Championship. And I thought it was a good idea to put him on NXT first, because if he goes up to the main roster right now, nobody's going to react to him. I mean, his gimmick is very bland. He just waves to people. And if he came out and did that on the main roster, that would just not get over. And I don't think this gimmick's going to get over. It's a really bland gimmick, but he's definitely really good in the ring. And Oney Lorcan and Tyler Bate start chain wrestling each other. Tyler Bate dominates the first half of the matchup. He goes for the Tyler Driver 97, but Oney Lorcan counters it. He hits a roll-up right into the corner, and he dominates the matchup for a while, but then Tyler Bate starts making a comeback. And eventually Oney Lorcan hits a sick uppercut, but then Tyler Bate bounces back off the ropes and hits an enziguri, and then he hits the Tyler Driver 97 for the win. So overall, I thought this match actually was a good match. And I thought it was a good way to introduce Tyler Bate to the NXT crowd, because this is the first time he's really wrestled outside of the United States. So, it's obviously a different atmosphere than wrestling in the United Kingdom. So, but I liked this. It was good. I don't know what's happening with Tyler Bate, though, when it comes to him in this United Kingdom Championship. It just kind of felt like they didn't really put a lot of thought into what they're going to do with him and the United Kingdom title. They just kind of did this tournament, and they didn't really put a lot of thought about what the aftermath was going to be. So I kind of hope they have an idea for it. So I'm not going to completely crap on it yet. And then Roderick Strong gets interviewed, and he said that he is here to make an impact, and he is here to be the next NXT champion. I thought he cut a really good promo, and I actually hope he does end up becoming a future NXT champion either this year or next year. And then the Authors of Pain and Paul Ellman get interviewed, and Paul Ellman says that when him and his Authors of Pain came to NXT, they say they were gonna dominate the division, and they did exactly that. So I thought that was good. And then we have some unseen footage of Shinsuke Nakamura after his match with Bobby Roode for the NXT Championship, and it shows him being helped to the back by Matt Bloom. And Triple H comes up to him and makes sure he's okay. And then we see Cassius Ohno, who's recently returned to NXT. Obviously, everybody's known that. And he said it didn't have to be that way, man. So obviously, I expect Cassius Ohno to come back soon and be a part of the NXT title picture, whether that's facing Bobby Roode or whether that's being in a triple threat match with Nakamura, Roode, and Roderick Strong, or whether it's they finish off the Nakamura-Roode feud and then they have Nakamura versus Cassius Ohno in the feud. So I'm definitely interested to see what they do with Cassius Ohno. And then Bobby Roode gets interviewed, and he gets asked, do you think he would have won the NXT Championship if Nakamura didn't hurt his knee? And he says absolutely not. He said he won this title, and he said that when he came to NXT, he was here to make a change, and he did just that. And he said that now that he's the NXT champion, NXT is going to be glorious. I thought it was a good promo. Actually, I thought it was a great promo. And then we had a Corey Graves video package, because as everybody knows, Corey Graves is leaving NXT. This was his last show doing commentary for it, and they did like a nice little tribute video to him, which I thought was awesome. And it shows him before NXT when it was FCW, also known as Florida Championship Wrestling, and he talks about NXT didn't exist, but then it became NXT. And he talks about how he was with the original class of NXT, which if you kind of think about it, it's kind of weird, you know. Corey Graves has pretty much been in NXT since the beginning. He was a wrestler, and then eventually he got injured. He had suffered 4 concussions, and he was told he could never wrestle again. So then it shows this promo that he was cutting in the Performance Center of him with his 30th birthday, talking about how it feels like his dream has ended, and he's playing his character, which I thought was awesome. And it has him talking about how he doesn't know why he can't wrestle. He feels like he's ready to run into a brick wall. He doesn't know where he goes from here. So Corey Graves talks about how he would do everything to contribute to the business, whether that was setting up speakers, whether that was helping with promos or something. And then he says that he finally had a chance to do something different, and he had a chance to get into the announcing, so he did just that. So then it shows him working on becoming an announcer. So then it shows him at NXT TakeOver All Evolution, talking about announcing his retirement, and he said that it was when he couldn't wrestle anymore. It was the worst day of his life, and he says that when he had to go up there and announce that he was retiring, that he had to pretty much admit to the world that his dream had ended. But he said that then he got a chance to get into the business in a different perspective. He became a commentator, so then it shows all his commentary moments. Him fapping over Eva Marie, him constantly talking about how glorious Bobby Roode is, him hating Elias Sampson, and him announcing the Team Sasha finisher of Shinsuke Nakamura. And obviously, he's had a lot of great NXT commentating moments, and then eventually he ended up going up to Raw and SmackDown, and he said that he loved being in NXT, but he feel like he needs to pay it forward, and he wants to take his opportunities to go on to Raw and to go on to Monday Night Raw and go on to other places. And he says that it's like sending your kid off to college. It's hard. He says he's gonna miss NXT because he's put his heart and sweat into this. And then the last thing it shows is a little promo segment of him saying that my father told me that sometimes in order to succeed and live your dream, you have to fail first, which I thought was a great. And obviously, he's done other things in NXT. He is a former NXT Tag Team Champion with Adrian Neville. So, Corey Graves, I definitely think is going to be missed in NXT. He was, I thought, a great voice in NXT. And it's going to be really different to watch NXT now and not have to hear him on commentary. It's going to take some getting used to, so we're going to have to wait and see how that goes. And then we had the main event itself. We had No Way Jose versus Elias Sampson. And when Elias Sampson came out, Corey Graves was pissed that this is going to have to be his last match he commentates, which I thought was awesome. And Elias Sampson goes to perform a song, but then he gets interrupted by No Way Jose. And No Way Jose beats the crap out of him. But then Elias Sampson gets the upper hand. He hits a drop kick in the corner. And he dominates the match for a while. He hits a knee right to the back of the head onto No Way Jose and while he's on the apron. And then eventually No Way Jose makes a comeback. And he hits the pump-up punch for the win. And afterwards he celebrates with the fans. And then that was the end of the show. Overall, I thought NXT was a nice, good, solid show. I like the stuff they did. I like the opening match. I thought the opening match was okay between Ember Moon and Aaliyah. I like how they're building up to that Ember Moon Asuka match for the NXT Women's title. I thought Corey Graves' video package was really good. And I like the Ernie Look and Tyler Bate match. And I also liked the main event. I thought the main event was good, not great, but so overall. And I also liked some of the promos, like Bobby Roode's promo I thought was good on the show. His interview afterwards. Shinsuke Nakamura, seen him afterwards, and seeing Cassius Ohno back on the show for the first time was cool. And the Authors of Pain, Paul Ellman's promo I thought was good. So overall, if I had to rate the show, it's not like a great show though, because obviously after the end of each takeover, they just kind of do like a recap of the other takeover, and you don't really get a lot from it. So if I had to rate it, I'm going to rate it a 6 out of 10. I thought it was a good show. So that's pretty much it, guys. Make sure to subscribe to this channel and my other two channels, Owen the Talkinator and CM Brothers. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.